Sibelius uses traditional shortcut commands for cut, copy, and paste. If you know how to use these editing commands in other applications, you should have an easy time applying those skills in Sibelius. Before using editing commands in Sibelius, it's important to remember all of the types of selections that you can make. You can select individual objects, like this. You can select whole bars. You can select ranges of objects using the Shift key, or ranges of bars. And you can do a bit more by making system selections using Command. Now, if any of this is unclear to you, you may want to review the selections video before continuing with this one. The type of selection you make before you copy material to the clipboard is just as important as the type of selection you make before you paste clipboard contents into the score. The application will respond differently to you depending on the type of selection that you make. Now, before we begin cutting and pasting, let's add some empty bars to the end of our score. Use Command B. I'm going to fill up 2 pages here just for fun. There we go. It's starting to fill up. You can just hold Command B down. And let's go ahead and add some additional instruments to this score as well, so that we have a lot of room to practice these editing commands. I for instruments, and I'm going to add a clarinet from my woodwinds category. Just double-click on clarinet, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go to the strings category and add a violin solo in there as well. And you can do whatever you'd like. I'd suggest putting a small score together right now that you can continue to use from this point forward so that you have something resembling a score to format and print at the end of the course. Understand that it won't be any sort of masterpiece. It likely won't make any musical sense at all, but it will visually represent what could be a real score in the end. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now that we have something resembling a score, we're going to start using cut, copy, and paste from one staff to another to share some of our existing material with the other instruments. So I'm going to use Command Home to get back to the beginning of my score. There we go. And let's start discussing some of these editing commands. The cut command, which is Command X on Mac or Control X on Windows, will remove selected material from your selection and place it on your computer's virtual clipboard so that you can paste the material back into the score somewhere else. You can access the cut command from the ribbon as well at the Home tab, Clipboard Group, Cut. I'm going to go ahead and use the shortcut for this. So if you select some material, it could be a whole bar or it could just be a few notes. If you use Command or Control X, you'll cut those notes out of the score. And then Sibelius is waiting for you to paste them back in somewhere. So by itself, cut doesn't do much, although it does remove material from your score. Let's go ahead and pair that now with the paste command to get that material back into our score. The paste command pastes cut or copied material from the virtual clipboard into your score. You'll want to make an insertion or selection before pasting to tell Sibelius where to paste the material into. You can access the paste command from the ribbon at the Home tab Clipboard Group. There's a big paste button right up here. Or you can use the shortcut Command V on Mac or Control V on Windows. And it's important to understand that if any material is in the path of your pasted material, it will be removed and replaced by whatever you're pasting in. So I've previously cut this material out. Let's just go ahead and make an insertion right here. Okay, this is going to establish me on beat 1 of this bar. So when I use Command V to paste, those 2 notes will go in at beat 1. And we can do this all over the place if we'd like to. I can put that in here and even down here. I'm just clicking and using Command V to paste. And escape when you're done. Now the copy command copies selected material from the score and places it into the computer's virtual clipboard so that you can later paste the material back into the score. The only difference between cut and copy is that cut removes the source material from the score and copy leaves it in place. You can access the copy command from the ribbon at the Home tab Clipboard Group. There's copy right there. Or you can use the shortcut Command C on Mac or Control C on Windows. Let's take some time experimenting with this now. If I take this little gesture here in this bar, let's take the whole bar, select it, Command C to copy it. Sibelius leaves it there in my flute. Then I can make a selection of a bar somewhere else in the score. Command V will paste it in. And again, I can do this all over the score if I'd like to. Just select a bar, Command V, select a bar, Command V, and continue pasting that copied material anywhere into your score. Escape when you're done. When you use the paste command in particular, the type of selection that you make before you paste will affect the behavior of the pasted material. So if you select a single bar of material and copy it to your clipboard, let's go ahead and choose this bar right here. Go ahead and copy it, Command C. Now, if I just make a single bar selection, let's say down here, we'll double this in the violin, and if I paste, Command V, then I get that one bar of material right there in my violin. But if I were to make a different type of selection, let's say I selected 2 bars before I pasted instead of 1 bar. Watch what Sibelius does when I paste. It makes 2 copies of that original 1 bar and fills in my entire selection with that pasted material. So again, you need to be very specific with the type of selection that you make, particularly before you paste material back into Sibelius. Another thing to watch out for is if you have any material in the way of anything that you're pasting. For example, if I take this bar of material and copy it to my clipboard, and I come over here, let's say I'm right here. Now, if I make a bar selection and paste this in, it's just going to fill that 1 bar. If I were to make 2 bars, remember there is no nudge feature in Sibelius, so these 2 notes right here will not nudge to the right and get out of the way of my pasted material. They're going to be engulfed by my pasted material. So if I paste Command V, then that material goes away and is replaced by whatever I've pasted. Now, you may sometimes want to copy a passage of music that begins on a certain beat, like beat 1, and paste the material into another bar, having it start on a different beat, like beat 3, for example. To do this, you have to reveal and select the beat where you want the pasted material to begin. So if I take this little figure here from beat 1, hold Shift, and select through to beat 3, and copy that to my clipboard, I have something from beat 1 to beat 3. Let's say that I want to paste that over here in my violin, but I don't want it to start right on beat 1. It's really hard to do. If I just select the bar rest and paste, it's going to start on beat 1, and I'm going to undo that. If I select the whole bar and paste, it's going to start on beat 1. So what I have to do, I'm going to undo, I have to show Sibelius where that beat is, where I want that pasted material to begin. So I have to edit this bar rest. I'm going to select the bar rest. Let's go ahead and turn it into a half note rest by selecting the half note value in the keypad. Now that I can see beat 3, which is right here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in for you. If I select beat 3 and then paste that material, you'll see that Sibelius will take that beat 1 through beat 3 material and paste it from beat 3 through beat 4 and into beat 1 for me. And again, just be mindful, if I do the same thing in a bar like this, I already have a C written here on beat 1. If I was to paste material from beat 3 through beat 1, this note will go away and be replaced by the new note in the pasted material. Now, there's another copy-paste feature in Sibelius that is very quick to use. It's called Quick Copy, and it gives you the ability to perform a copy and paste with just one single click of the mouse. To use Sibelius's Quick Copy, you're going to make a selection of something that you'd like to copy and paste. So let's say that I like these 2 bars right here. With the material selected, press and hold Option on Mac or Alt on Windows. So I'm holding down my Option key. While holding down the modifier, maneuver your mouse to the place where you'd like the selected material to be pasted in. So let's say I want to add it to the beginning of the flute bar here at bar 29. So I'm hovering over, I'm still holding the Option key. And so while doing that, go ahead and just click with your mouse, and the material that you had selected over here is quick copied over here to the flute. This can sometimes be a little confusing, so let's do it one more time for you. Let's take this bar's worth of material, just click on it to select it, hold down the Option or Alt key, move to where you want to paste that material in. I'm going to slide down just a little bit here. Let's put it in the clarinet right here. Hover where you want the start of that paste to begin. I'm still holding Option, and then just click with your mouse. Scrolling back up, so I just took that material and quick copied it there into the clarinet. If you have a 2-button mouse, Quick Copy also works without a modifier. If you make a selection, point the mouse where you'd like to paste, and then click with both mouse buttons at the same time. Finally, Sibelius will also allow you to linearly repeat a selection. The repeated material will appear immediately after the selected material. Be aware that if there's any existing material in the path of the repeated material, it will be removed and replaced by the repeated material. To repeat, you're going to make a selection of an object or passage and simply press the R key for repeat. Let's go ahead and give this a try as well. I'm actually going to use this little gesture here. We'll keep it selected. And all I have to do is hit the R key, and you'll see that it will take this entire bar, and it will start pasting it back in or repeating it right here at the beginning of the next bar. Here's the letter R for repeat. And you can keep pressing this. This is great for ostinatos and things. And this doesn't have to be a whole bar's worth of material. You can select maybe 2 notes and hit R and just repeat those 2 notes. Even a single note will work. Now, in case you'd like to access this from the ribbon, the repeat feature is found in the Note Input tab, in the Note Input group, and here it is right here, repeat. So you could make a selection and then go up here and type or press the repeat button and escape when you're done. Now, as you've seen, Sibelius does not automatically nudge notes to the left or right when you cut notes out of a bar or paste notes into a bar. When you cut, it leaves rests in place, and when you paste, it pastes over any material in its path. The only way to nudge notes left or right in Sibelius is by manually cutting and pasting them. For example, if you need to nudge a group of notes to the right by 1 beat, you'll need to select the notes, cut them, and paste them in 1 beat later. So let's say, for example, in the flute here, that this D right here should have been a half note. Now, if I just change it to a half note, then I'm going to remove these 2 eighth notes. But what if I need to keep those 2 eighth notes and just move them 1 beat to the right? I have to cut all of this material out from this point forward and then paste it 1 beat to the right before I change that D into a half note. So I'm going to select from this D, hold Shift, go to the very end of this musical line so I get everything selected, cut that material out, Command X, and then I need to paste that material in 1 beat later. So I'm going to select beat 3 right here and paste, Command V. And now I can go back and edit this note into a half note. And there we go. Now, similarly, if we need to take a large value and make it a smaller value and then move everything back over to the left, we can do that as well. It's actually a little bit easier. Let's say that this dotted quarter note should have just been a quarter note, and everything to its right should be moved over to the left a little bit. So you start with the note value first. I'm going to select that note. I'm going to remove the dot, and that gives me that eighth note space to play with. Now I'm going to select everything from this point forward to the right using Shift. I'm going to cut those notes out, Command X, and then I'm going to select that first beat of bar 2, where I want those notes to begin, and paste them back in, Command V. You'll likely have some rhythm editing to do after you employ any of these editing features, so always double-check your music after you cut, copy, paste, or repeat.